Our team is talking a lot about ELECT. We've attended training sessions, and actually a few training sessions to familiarize ourselves with the document.
We see it as a process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's something that we do regularly when we're going out there. It isn't anything new per se. It's new terminology, and it's a new way of thinking about what you do already.
We don't want it to be something so big and so scary that it's hard to take in.
When we had a look at the ELECT and had a look at the framework, it was pretty tricky and pretty challenging, so it did, provide us with lots of different thoughts and ideas on how we're going to implement it.
We first had meetings to talk about ELECT, to talk about the principles. I think that we all learn differently, and we're all at different places with ELECT and with other other tools that we use in our field as well.
It raises the profile of home daycare, and it just raises, I guess, your level of professionalism as well. When we were initially introduced to the ELECT, then it was a bit of an interesting perspective on how we were going to introduce it to providers, because coming from the home childcare sector, providers are self-employed.
What we did first as an agency is we looked at our home childcare providers and looked at each principal, and when we went out to do visits, we brought back examples of each of the principals.
What we hope is that our teams become familiar with the document. The more familiar they are, the more they'll be able to help with the coaching and providing of resources to providers.
Our caregivers at first were kind of scared because they're hearing this word, ELECT. What does that mean? We're bringing them out this document with all this information in it, and so they were scared. They were, what is this now that I have to do? Is this a new rule? Do I have to change everything? How is this going to fit in with my family?
When we started implementing the ELECT, we had to ensure that the language was simple and that it was easily understood universally by all of our providers. What we really needed to do was to look at their practice, their childcare practice, and then convert that into how that they're already doing the ELECT. Initially, we started to introduce the ELECT framework to our providers through the newsletter, and we focused on the principles.
When providers come to workshops, and we offer quite a few workshops throughout the year, they will be linked to the ELECT principles. We started doing activity cards that are linked to the principles. Our hope is that we will be able to produce them and give them to each provider that's affiliated to an agency in the City of Ottawa. And these cards, will be very practical tools that providers can use in their daycare homes. And it's really a starting point to give them ideas for future activities and future plans.
We decided that what we really needed to do was bring the training to them, or bring stuff to model and demonstrate to them. So we created some ELECT bags which just contain a very simple activity. One of them was pom-poms and tongs, and in that we go in and we model to the providers how they can do a really, really simple activity with the children.
Being home child caregivers, they're already in the community. They're familiar with the schools, they're familiar with the resources in their community, they know the people at playgroup, they know the neighbors, they know the families, they know where the grocery store is. So it's easier for them to be a part of the community and provide those resources to parents and families because they're right there in the same community that the children live in.
Each one is so unique anyway, and that's the beauty of home childcare.
They're allowed to have 5 children of different ages, so you're not dealing with all infants, they're dealing with different ages. So an infant's going to get the opportunity to see an older child do their homework. They're going to see, walk to the bus to get that older child off. The older children are going to see younger children being fed, and they learn about each other's different ages, different cultures, different languages, different family backgrounds, things like that.
One of the strengths of home daycare is that you have a small group setting and that it's a multi-age group usually, and it's in a family setting, it's a home, it's comfortable. All of those things are really, really good.
When the children are there for that long, the families develop a really good relationship with the caregiver, and those children are part of that family. So, it's not the same as when they're there and they're in the caregiver's home, they're just in their second home. We're not bringing forth something that's new and scary, and this is something now that you have to do, and this is how we want you to do it. We brought it forth in a way that this is not something that you don't already understand. It's just maybe worded differently than how you think about it.
Just being able to say the principles is not enough. It's really to have that understanding of what it means, to reflect on them and to implement them.
A lot of the fantastic childcare is just grounded in good principles, which is what the Elect is all about. It's sort of giving a name to it.
Start with where you are and respect where you are, because you have skills, you have a lot of experience, and that you are probably doing a lot of what is expected from Elect already. And you do still have a lot that you can learn from it. So it's an amazing opportunity.